Hello, my name is Piper Christian, and I'm a student in social statistics. And today I will be presenting on a study conducted that looked at the relationship between vaccines and autism. First, I'd like to start with some key statistical concepts. Sample size is a subset of a population which the researcher performs statistical tests upon to make inferences about the population. In Salkin Chapter 3, it states, larger sample sizes lead to more accurate estimates of population statistics. Correlation is an association that exists between two or more variables. Causality is a change in one variable that results in a change in another variable. What we learned this semester is that correlation does not equal causation. Just because variables may be changing in similar ways does not mean that one variable is responsible for changes in another variable. Now we will examine the Wakefield studies, which posited that vaccines cause autism. The hypothesis of this study was that the measles, mumps, and rubella, or MMR vaccine, caused intestinal inflammation and the entrance into the bloodstream of proteins harmful to the brain, which resulted in autism. The study contained 12 children participants who had received the MMR vaccine. All children reported intestinal problems after receiving the MMR vaccine, and 8 out of the 12 children developed autism. So therefore, the researcher, Wakefield, believed that the intestinal problems that were caused by the MMR vaccine then led to proteins entering the bloodstream and then impacting the brain in a way that caused autism. So what was wrong with this study? We can use our statistical understanding from this class to critique it. First, the study used a case report with a very small sample size, n equals 12. And the problem with this is that when we have a very small sample size, it's very hard to make inferences that are accurate about the population. The smaller the sample size, the harder it is for it to be representative of a population and not subject to error. Additionally, this study posited that correlation equals causation. About 90% of United Kingdom children receive the MMR vaccine. And the MMR vaccine is administered at the same age that children are typically diagnosed with autism. So it's very easy to find an association between autism and the MMR vaccine because those who were diagnosed were likely recently vaccinated as well. But that doesn't mean that the vaccine was causing the autism. Additionally, all 8 children diagnosed with autism had intestinal inflammation after their autism symptoms emerged. So what this demonstrates is that the intestinal inflammation was not leading to proteins entering the bloodstream and then impacting brain development. And additionally, we are going to look at what could have been done instead in the next slide. In a more accurate statistical analysis, it would be appropriate to use a much larger sample size so that we can have a more representative understanding of how MMR may impact brain development and even the preponderance of autism across the whole population, not just 12 kids who may be subject to error. The study of the incidence of autism in both vaccinated and unvaccinated children would be a more statistically accurate practice, instead of simply finding 12 children who ended up exhibiting certain symptoms. And we've seen that there have been accurate, statistically sound studies conducted about the relationship between vaccines and autism. In a study conducted by Statens Serum Institute in Denmark, they studied vaccine history and autism prevalence in 600,000 children and found no association between use of the MMR vaccine and development of autism. The aftermath of this study's publication has been very troubling. In 2017, 500 new measles cases were reported across Europe. And potential cause of the outbreaks was that immunization rates were dropping beneath the 95% threshold. So they found that the publication of this study, shortly after, there was a decrease in families immunizing their children out of fear that vaccines could cause autism. We've seen similar trends in the United States. In 2019, the US reported the highest numbers of measles cases since 1994, with over 700 cases. So what we can see is that the publication of this study has a relationship to a decrease in vaccination rates and therefore a heightened preponderance of measles. Here are the sources that I used. I appreciated participating in this class. It helped me have a better understanding of how to use statistics and when it's inappropriate or not properly administered, to be more critical of studies like this one that could potentially have harmful impacts on people's healthcare decisions. Thank you.